Hi everybody, today's lesson is also about separation. This is lesson 8. For this lesson, you're going to need your root card and whatever materials you've chosen for your vocab strategy. As a reminder, you can complete note cards, you can do a vocabulary connection chart, you can do vocab visuals or word pyramids. So make sure you have what you need. And we're going to be on page 47 of the workbook if you would like to follow along. Just as a reminder, this upcoming quiz is a big one. It's going to be over lessons 5, 6, 7, and 8, including all the roots from the beginning of the year. At this point, you should have your root card filled out all the way up until this next root, which is super. Super is a Latin root and it means above. So please add this root to your root card. We have two words that use the root super. The first is pronounced superlative. Superlative is an adjective, it's a describing word, and it means the highest or above the rest. Timmy was the superlative player on the team, leading in both scoring and assists. The sentence from your book reads, superlative builders of irrigation systems, the Pueblo peoples had much to teach 17th century colonists in New Mexico. You may have heard the word superlative being used in conjunction with grammar. It is a grammatical term, but we are just going to focus on this definition for our root lesson. The second word that uses this root is superfluous. This is an adjective as well. It's a descriptive word that means beyond what is required or extra. And you can see in the picture there is a lot of cheese on that burger, much more than what is required. With 7 doctors surrounding the patient, calling 911 seemed superfluous. And don't forget to add this word to your vocab strategy. We're already moving on to our second root. There are a lot of new roots you're going to learn in this lesson. The next root has 3 words. The root is kado, and it means to cut. The first word that uses this root is concise. Concise is also an adjective, another describing word, and it means saying or writing much in few words. For his college essay, Cole had to be concise in order to stay under 300 words. He had to be particular about what words he chose so that he could say what he wanted in just a few words. In this cartoon, it shows a lawyer being very concise, not using a lot of words. In your book, it says, quote, experience teaches, end quote, is a concise way to say that what happens in our daily lives guides us in subsequent actions. There are times in writing when we want to be concise, for example, when we're summarizing something, but if we're trying to elaborate and add a lot of description to our writing, we don't want to be concise. The next word that uses this root is herbicide. This is a noun, so it's a thing. It's a substance that's used to kill plants, especially weeds, as is shown in this picture. In order to keep his driveway free, Bart used herbicide to kill all the weeds. And the sentence from the book reads, the herbicide known as Agent Orange was used in Vietnam to kill vegetation. And a way that you can help yourself to remember this is herb is like a plant, and so this is a substance used for killing plants. So hopefully that'll help a little bit. The next word, we need to make sure we know the difference between it and concise because they're very similar. This next word is precise. Precise is an adjective, and it means clearly expressed, exact, accurate in every detail. Your sentence says measurements must be precise when building an aircraft in order to avoid any accidents. So you'll notice that the definition is a little bit different between concise and precise. With concise, it's saying something in few words. With precise, it's saying something very accurately or exactly. So make sure you know the difference between these two words. The next root that we're going to learn has kind of two parts. On the left, you'll see the definition to loosen or to untie. And then on the right, you'll see the definition capable of being untied. Although these two roots are very similar, you do need to know the difference between their definitions. So both are listed separately on your root card, and make sure you write down which is which. On your quiz, you will be asked to identify the difference between these two. So make sure you write both down. Also, just a reminder, at any point you can pause the video so that you can make sure that you're writing all this down accurately. We have two words. The first one is analyze, a word you've probably heard many times. It's a verb, which means to look at something carefully by paying attention to its parts. For making any decision, you must analyze all of the data. When doctors analyze the nature of cells, they find ways to fight disease. So be sure to add this to your vocab strategy, even though you probably already know what it means. The second word we're going to learn in conjunction with these roots is catalyst. Catalyst is a noun. It's a force or a person causing action, especially without being involved or changed by the consequences. So for this one, if you just remember that first part of the definition, a force or person causing action, you'll be good. The sentence that's used here is that there are some people who act as a catalyst for change. So in this sentence, catalyst is used to define a type of person, but you also might use this word in science. Sometimes chemicals are catalysts in experiments. They cause change with other chemicals. So like in chemistry, a catalyst is a substance that causes change or accelerates change, but it remains unaffected itself. So it might be helpful for you to kind of know how catalyst is used in both of those contexts. We are moving on to our last root. There are 3 words that use this root. So by the end of this lesson, you will have 10 words total. The root is salvo, and very similar to the last 2 roots that we learned, it means to loosen or to untie. So you'll notice that these 3 roots are very, very similar in their definitions. The first word that uses this root is absolve. Absolve is a verb, and it means to relieve of blame or obligation, to pardon a sin, similar to another word that we've learned already as a part of this program. The sentence says, after showing he was contrite, I absolved Steve of any guilt regarding the accident. The sentence in the book reads, although we were sequestered with the culprits for questioning, our innocence absolved us from punishment. It relieved us of our punishment. 2 words left, and make sure you're adding these completely to your vocab strategy. The next word is resolute. This is an adjective, and it means determined or unshakable. I am very resolute in my belief that the Blackhawks are the best team in Chicago. The sentence in the book reads, resolute, even though paralyzed and in a wheelchair, Ruth has won Olympic medals in slalom, shot put, discus, and javelin. So this word you probably notice is very similar to some other words we've learned, such as persevere, tenacity. It has that similar meaning. We have 1 word left. This word is a verb. Resolve means to find a solution or to make a firm decision about something. And this kind of is how this is similar to the word resolution. When we make New Year's resolutions, we make a decision about something that we want to change in our lives. So, for example, she resolved to run 5 miles every morning. She made a decision to run 5 miles every morning. You could also say that the mediator resolved the conflict, came to a solution for the conflict. The sentence on the screen says, this year I resolved to find a way to perform better in class. I made a resolution. I found a solution. I made a change. So these are the 10 words that you need to know for lesson 8. Make sure you have all of them recorded on your vocab strategies, and make sure you're doing a lot of studying this week because we have a cumulative test over 4 lessons. Thanks for listening.